Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Wakar Kadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim scattered in the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And I say shalom to the Akim out there. And this is a sit-down lesson that I want to bring out of this recent news article as we see the markets crash for the third straight day once again, as I've been doing previous two lessons 2 days ago, 2 days straight, and now this the third day I'm doing this sit-down lesson in regards to the markets have crashed once again, and this is a news article from CNBC.com, published by Alex Heron and Pia Shane from CNBC.com as of updated Thursday, September 21st, 2023 at 4:22 p.m. Eastern Time. And it reads, the Dow Jones tumbles more than 300 points to notch the third day of losses, amending fears of high rates, government shutdown. It says stocks fell Thursday as Treasury yields pop a multi-year highs and investors grow worried that lawmakers will be unable to prevent a shutdown. It says the Dow Jones industrial average dropped about 370 points, 0.46 points in the negatives category, or 1.08% to close at 34,070.42. Right along with the S&P 500 slid 1.64% to 4,330. And the Nasdaq Composite retreated 1.82% to 13,223.98. It was the third day straight loss for the three index of the worst session since March. For the S&P 500, the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 were on track to end the week down more than 1% and 2% respectively, while the Nasdaq was poised to fall more than 3%. The U.S. 10-year Treasury yield hit 4.494 earlier in the day, and the rate reaches the highest level since 2007, with the latest catalyst being weekly jobless claims. Data shows still strong labor market that could encourage the Feds to stay in a hiking mode. Weekly jobless claims decreased by 20,000 into 200,001 for the week ending September 17th, much lower than 225,000 claims expected by economics pulled by the Dow Jones. It was the lowest volume of new unemployment claims since January. The 2-year yield hit a 5.202%, reached the level not since 2006 in the session. It's kind of a warning sign for markets right now, said Adam Turnquist, the chief technology strategist, for the LEP finance of the recent yield moves. He added that the yields are certainly waiting on the risk of amputate at this point. Losses intensified following the news that the House Republican leaders sent the chambers into session on Thursday, bolstering the fears of the federal lawmakers won't pass a bill to avert the shutdown. Market participants are concerned that the shutdown will hurt the fourth quarter GDP. The move comes a day after the Federal Reserve announced it will leave its interest rates unchanged, but forecasts another rate hike before the end of the year. The central banks are indicating few rate cuts next year, essentially saying it will need to keep the rates higher for longer because stubborn inflation. Federal Chair Jeremy Powell commented after the decision that a softer landing for the economy was still possible, but not this baseline scenario. So Book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 2. the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, become a habitation of deceivers, and a hole of foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean H-A-T-E-F-U-L bird. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 7. It's talking about this modern day Babylonian economic system. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take bond for her pain, and so she may be healed. Jeremiah 51 and verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. And forsaken her, and let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgments reach up into heavens, and is lifted up even to the sky. So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying of this recent news article as the markets crashed once again for a third straight day, as the Dow Jones pummeled to 370 points, right along with the S&P 500. And the NASDAQ composite along with it as well too, amending the fears of in the near future of interest rates potentially might increase, and the potential of fears of a government shutdown on top of that as well too. So keep this in mind. The markets will react what's going on financially, globally, or what announcements that's going to be made, from the Federal Reserve. So with that, read this once again. This is a news article, CNBC.com, updated September the 21st, 2023, on this Thursday afternoon at 4:28 p.m. Eastern Time. As it says again, the Dow Jones tumbled more than 300 points to notch a third day of losses, amending fears of high interest rates and amending a government shutdown. So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying of this recent news article. And I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Karkadash, Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And Shalom to the Akim scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say Shalom.